The date was etched in my memory, Tuesday, July 8, 2025, a seemingly ordinary day that would soon unravel into anything but. Rain fell relentlessly over Ashland, Oregon, a constant drumming rhythm against the pavement and rooftops. It was the kind of rain that seeped into your bones, a melancholic soundtrack to the unfolding events. The downpour painted the world in shades of gray, blurring the edges of reality and casting a pall over the small town. Emma Caldwell, a creature of habit and a lover of routine, never missed her morning walk to the downtown cafe, the Daily Grind. It was her sanctuary, a place of comfort and quiet contemplation. She always ordered black coffee, a strong, dark brew to kickstart her day, and a flaky, buttery croissant, which she savored slowly, while sat by the window, and wrote in her diary, a leather-bound journal filled with her thoughts, dreams, and observations. But this Tuesday, something was different. Emma never arrived, leaving an empty chair and a growing sense of unease in the hearts of those who knew her. Somewhere in the misty, rain-soaked streets of Ashland, she vanished without a trace, swallowed by the gloom. Her friends described her as reliable, dependable, never late, never absent. It was completely out of character for her to simply disappear. That diary, her constant companion and confidant, would soon become the central clue, a silent witness to her final days. It was the starting point in a baffling mystery that would grip the town and leave investigators scratching their heads. By evening, her roommate Sarah returned home, expecting to find Emma already there. Instead, she was met with a silent, dark apartment, an unsettling emptiness that hung heavy in the air. Emma's car was parked outside, a beacon of normalcy in a rapidly unraveling situation. Her coat and purse lay untouched, as if she had simply stepped away for a moment. Only Emma and her diary, the repository of her innermost thoughts and secrets, were missing, leaving behind a void that echoed with unanswered questions. Sarah called friends, desperately seeking any information, hospitals, hoping against hope that Emma had simply been taken ill, but found nothing, only the cold, sterile silence of the unknown. Panic set in, a cold wave washing over her as the reality of the situation began to sink in. As the hours passed, each tick of the clock amplifying her fear and uncertainty. By nightfall, the rain continued its relentless assault, mirroring the storm brewing within Sarah's heart. With trembling hands, Sarah dialed 911, her voice barely a whisper as she reported her friend missing. The mystery of Emma Caldwell had begun, a dark and twisting path into the unknown. Police arrived, rain still falling, and searched the apartment. No signs of struggle, no forced entry. Everything in its place except Emma and her diary. Detectives questioned Sarah about Emma's routines and her attachment to the diary. The missing diary suggested something personal. The next day, the rain stopped. Police canvassed the neighborhood, but few remembered seeing Emma. Days passed. Flyers went up, vigils were held, but there were no leads. The apartment remained untouched, waiting for answers. The only thing missing, the diary, was the one thing that might explain it all. A week later, the serene facade of Lithia Park was shattered. A hiker, venturing off the beaten path, stumbled upon a horrifying discovery: Emma's lifeless body, resting beneath the sprawling branches of an ancient oak tree. The scene was immediately cordoned off. Initial examination revealed no obvious signs of violence. It was as if she had simply fallen asleep under the tree. There was no struggle, no disturbance in the surrounding undergrowth. It appeared to be a peaceful scene, almost too peaceful, as if carefully staged. Her wristwatch, a delicate piece of jewelry, had stopped at precisely 7:15 a.m., a silent marker in time. Her shoes were missing, adding another layer of peculiarity to the scene, but her feet were inexplicably clean, devoid of mud or dirt. It was clear she hadn't walked there on her own. Someone had deliberately placed her body beneath the oak. Adding to the investigators' woes, the rain had washed away any potential trace evidence, complicating the already perplexing case. No weapon was found at the scene, and frustratingly, no usable DNA could be recovered. The investigation yielded no immediate clues. It was shaping up to be just a chilling mystery, a puzzle with no apparent solution. The community was devastated by the loss of one of their own. The extensive search for Emma, which had gripped the town, was finally over. But while one chapter closed, another, far more complex and dangerous, had just begun. The hunt for her killer. The diary, still missing, was believed to hold the key to unlocking the truth, a silent witness to a terrible secret. 2 days after Emma's body was found, a city worker discovered her waterlogged diary in a drainage culvert. Most entries were ruined, but the final page was legible. It read, in frantic handwriting, "Alex is here." Police identified Alex as Alexander Pierce, Emma's ex-boyfriend. But Alex had died in a car crash 6 months earlier, confirmed by dental records. How could Emma write his name the morning she vanished? Was it a delusion, a story, or something stranger? The diary, instead of solving the case, deepened the mystery. Detectives meticulously investigated every conceivable angle, leaving no stone unturned, even exploring the seemingly impossible leads. They knew the devil was in the details. The grainy security footage pulled from a nearby camera showed a hooded man lurking in the shadows. He was seen outside Emma's building the morning she disappeared, a ghost in the early morning fog. A faint scar on his left cheek, barely visible in the low-resolution image, matched a distinctive mark on Alex's face. This was a crucial detail, a piece of information never released to the public, a detail never made public. Was it merely a look-alike, a cruel twist of fate, or was it something far more sinister, a carefully orchestrated deception? The investigation stalled, bogged down in conflicting testimonies and tangled in a web of contradictions. Leads went cold. Months later, Emma's grief-stricken parents received an anonymous letter, postmarked from a distant city. The chilling message read, "She knew too much about the man who wasn't dead." The letter offered no signature, no answers, only more questions. And so, to this day, Emma Caldwell's case remains open, a haunting reminder of justice unserved. Her personal diary sits locked away in evidence, a silent witness to the unfolding tragedy. The diary's final entry, scrawled in haste, is a chilling testament to a mystery that began on a rainy night in the city and ended with a lingering question mark forever etched in the annals of unsolved cases. As the investigation dragged on, the search for truth turned to those closest to Emma. Police transcripts reveal the strain and suspicion that settled over her circle of friends, each statement a thread in a tangled web. Detective, voice distorted. "Sarah, can you tell us about the last time you saw Emma?" Sarah, voice, nervous, audio transcript overlay. "It was the night before. She seemed on edge. She kept checking her phone. I asked if she was okay, but she just said, 'If something happens, don't trust anyone, not even me.' I thought she was joking." The local shopkeeper, Mr. Patel, also came forward. Mr. Patel, voice calm, audio transcript overlay. "Emma bought a notebook and a red pen that morning. She looked scared. I remember she dropped a note, but when I picked it up she snatched it from my hand. I didn't see what it said." Detectives noticed inconsistencies. Sarah claimed Emma left for home at 9:30 p.m., but security footage placed her outside the shop at 10:45 p.m. Mr. Patel insisted he saw a tall man waiting across the street, but no one else could confirm his account. Then, unsettling evidence surfaced. In Emma's apartment, investigators discovered a muddy footprint by the window a size too large to be Emma's. Next to the footprint, wedged beneath a loose floorboard, was a cryptic note in block letters, "The truth hides where shadows fall." These fragments of testimony and evidence only deepened the mystery. Was someone watching Emma? Did her friends know more than they let on? Each answer led only to more questions, and the shadows in Emma's story grew darker still. Just when it seemed the case had reached a dead end, a startling twist emerged. Late one rainy evening, a new witness came forward, an elderly night janitor named Mrs. Keller. In a shaky statement to police, Mrs. Keller insisted she saw Emma walking briskly across Birchwood Avenue, hours after the official time of her death. "It was past midnight. She was wearing a hood, but I recognized her walk. She looked frightened. She glanced over her shoulder, then disappeared into the fog." Detectives scrambled to verify the claim. Surveillance footage from a nearby bakery showed a blurry figure matching Emma's description, time-stamped at 12:14 a.m., nearly 2 hours after her last confirmed sighting. Yet forensics had placed Emma's death at 10:30 p.m., based on the evidence found in the park. Confusion mounted. The muddy footprint in Emma's apartment was now matched to a pair of boots found in the trunk of Sarah's car, yet Sarah had a solid alibi. The cryptic note, "The truth hides where shadows fall," was traced to a rare brand of stationery sold only at Mr. Patel's shop, but records showed multiple purchases that week. The investigation spiraled into chaos. Testimonies contradicted evidence, alibis unraveled, then reformed. Was the woman seen by Mrs. Keller really Emma, or a cruel impersonation? Had the timeline been wrong all along? The final police report offered no closure. The case file was marked unresolved. Emma's fate remained a riddle, her story dissolving into rumor and speculation. And so, The shadows lengthened, leaving behind only questions and a chilling sense that the truth was still out there, waiting to be found. The rain continues to fall over the city, blurring streetlights and turning sidewalks into mirrors. Inside the precinct, the investigation takes a dramatic new turn. Two fresh witnesses come forward, each with their own version of the night Emma vanished. The first witness, a delivery driver named Marco, claims he saw Emma arguing with an unknown man outside her apartment at 9:45 p.m. They were shouting. She kept saying, "You promised." He just walked away into the rain. The second witness, a neighbor named Lena, swears she heard laughter coming from Emma's apartment at 11 p.m., long after Emma was presumed dead. It wasn't Emma's laugh. It was deeper, almost mocking. "Detective, did you recognize the man Emma was speaking to?" Marco: "No, but he had a limp and he wore a dark coat. I've never seen him before." Detective: "And you're sure of the time?" Marco: "Positive. I checked my phone right after, 9 to 46 inches. Detective: "Lena, did you see anyone leave Emma's apartment?" Lena: "No, but there was a shadow by her door. Someone was standing there, listening." Suddenly, a new figure steps into the light, a tall, sharply dressed man who introduces himself only as Mr. Gray. His presence unsettles the room. He claims to be a private investigator hired by an anonymous client. Detective: "Who hired you, Mr. Gray?" Mr. Gray: "Let's just say, someone who believes the truth is still in the shadows." The detectives exchange wary glances. As Mr. Gray leaves, the camera lingers on his silhouette dissolving into the rain-soaked night. With every new statement, the lines between truth and deception blur further. Hidden motives emerge: jealousy, betrayal, debts unpaid. The puzzle is no closer to being solved. Instead, the shadows grow deeper, and the city's secrets remain tightly sealed beneath the rain. The storm finally gives way to a restless dawn. Inside the precinct's evidence room, a hushed urgency fills the air. Detective Harris sifts through a stack of digital files until a technician calls out, "You need to see this." It's security footage pulled from a discreet camera mounted on an office building across from Emma's apartment. On the grainy video, timestamped 9:47 p.m., Emma steps onto the sidewalk, her face tense, her words lost in the rain. She's joined not by a stranger but by someone all too familiar, her closest friend, Sarah. The two argue. Sarah's gestures are agitated, her face twisted in anger. Suddenly Sarah shoves Emma. Emma staggers, barely catching herself. Moments later, Sarah disappears into the shadows, leaving Emma alone and shaken. Gasps echo in the briefing room. Trust is shattered. The detectives move quickly. Cut to the interrogation room, harsh overhead lights, a table between Sarah and two detectives. Sarah's hands tremble. Detective Harris: "Sarah, we've reviewed the footage. You were there. You argued with Emma. Why did you lie?" Sarah, voice breaking: I didn't mean to hurt her. We fought, yes, but she was alive when I left, I swear." Detective Lee: "Your story doesn't match the timeline, Sarah. Marco saw a man with a limp, but you were there first. What happened after you left?" Sarah: "I don't know. I was angry. I walked away. I thought she needed space. I never saw her again. Please, you have to believe me." Detective Harris: "Sarah, Emma trusted you. What was the fight about?" Sarah's eyes fill with tears. She hesitates, then whispers, "She found out about me and someone else. She said she'd tell. I panicked, but I couldn't." The camera lingers on Sarah's devastated face as the truth begins to surface. The detectives exchange grim looks. The breakthrough has come, but it brings more pain than relief. The betrayal cuts deep, and the case is closer than ever to unraveling, yet the answers may be more tragic than anyone imagined. The rain outside finally stops, but inside the storm is just beginning. Just when the case seemed to reach its painful conclusion, a discovery changes everything. In the bottom of Emma's jewelry box, hidden beneath faded photographs, detectives find a letter, addressed to no one, yet meant for everyone who ever cared about her. In Emma's own words, the truth emerges. "If you're reading this, something's gone wrong. I've tried to be brave, but the fear is too much to keep inside. Lately I've felt watched, by someone I once trusted. Sarah is hiding something, but she's not the only one. I saw Marco near my door last night, limping, angry. He threatened me after I found out about his past with Sarah. He said no one would believe me. The key is in the diary, the dates, the initials, the code we used as kids. Please don't let my story end in silence." The revelations in Emma's letter force the investigation in a new direction. Confronted with the evidence, Marco is brought in for questioning. "Marco, Emma named you in her letter. She knew about you and Sarah. She knew about your threats. I never meant for any of this to happen. She found out. She said she'd tell everyone about me and Sarah. That I lied, that I owed her. I just wanted to scare her, make her stop. I waited outside, saw Sarah leave. I confronted Emma. She tried to run. I grabbed her arm. She slipped in the rain. I panicked. I left her there. I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry. With Emma's letter and Marco's confession, the final pieces fall into place. The truth is out, raw, tragic, and irreversible. Emma's voice, silenced by fear, now leads her loved ones to justice and closure. Sometimes the answers we seek are left behind in the words we're too afraid to speak out loud. Emma's courage, preserved in ink and memory, brings the storm to an end and gives her the final word. As dawn breaks over Ashland, the rain-soaked streets begin to dry, and a gentle sunlight bathes the town in hope. In the aftermath of Emma's truth, life moves forward, slowly, but with purpose. Marco faces justice for his actions, his confession bringing a bittersweet relief to those who loved Emma. Sarah, burdened by secrets and guilt, steps forward to tell her own story, helping the community understand the pain that led to tragedy. The silent apartment, once filled with fear, is now a place of remembrance, a small garden blooming in Emma's honor, tended by friends and neighbors. Emma's family gathers at the park where she was found, joined by the community. They share memories, laughter and tears, planting a tree as a living tribute to her courage. The diary, once a vessel for secrets, now sits in the local library, a testament to Emma's bravery and a reminder to speak up when something feels wrong. Ashland is changed but not broken. The case that shook the town has also united it. Strangers reaching out, neighbors supporting one another, and the promise that Emma's story will never be forgotten. In the end, the legacy Emma leaves is one of hope. Her voice, once lost in the storm, continues to echo, reminding us all that even the smallest light can guide us through the darkest night. As the sun rises, Ashland begins to heal. One day, one memory, one act of kindness at a time. Just as Ashland dares to breathe again, a stranger steps from the morning mist. A figure cloaked in gray, suitcase in hand, eyes scanning the town with quiet intensity. The newcomer calls himself Alex, and claims to have known Emma long before her life in Ashland. His arrival is unsettling. He brings with him a faded photograph, a torn letter, and a voice message that Emma left years ago. Evidence no one expected and a cryptic warning. Be careful who you trust. Word spreads quickly. Old wounds reopen. Friends and neighbors, once united in grief, now eye each other with suspicion. The evidence Alex provides hints at secrets deeper than anyone imagined, suggesting that Emma's story, and her fate, may have been shaped by forces still lurking in the shadows. Sarah, already struggling with guilt, is haunted by fresh doubts. Emma's family fears they never truly knew their daughter's world. Even the detectives who closed the case begin to question their conclusions as the town's sense of closure crumbles. As tension mounts, relationships fracture. Whispered conversations fill the silent apartment. The park, once a place of healing, becomes a ground for anxious glances and hurried footsteps. The psychological toll is heavy, grief now twisted by paranoia and fear. The diary in the library, once a symbol of hope, is revisited by trembling hands, searching for missed clues. Emma's legacy, instead of bringing peace, now casts a long shadow, her voice echoing again, warning that the truth may be more dangerous than anyone realized. Ashland stands at the edge of another storm, uncertain who to trust and fearful of the secrets that still wait to be revealed. As Ashland reels from Alex's revelations, an unmarked envelope appears on the doorstep of the old library. Inside, a series of anonymous letters written in hurried script, each one referencing secret meetings and veiled threats. The letters detail late-night rendezvous between Emma and a respected local official, Chief Donovan, the very man who led the investigation into her disappearance. The town is stunned. Chief Donovan, once the symbol of justice and stability, is now cast in a sinister light. The letters describe whispered arguments in shadowy corners, cryptic exchanges in the rain, and a promise Emma made to expose something she had discovered. The final letter, stained and torn, hints at a cover-up. They will never believe you, but if you're reading this, trust no one, not even those in uniform. As word spreads, trust collapses. Neighbors who once confided in Donovan now turn away in fear. Sarah, betrayed by the man she sought for answers, is consumed by anger and regret. Emma's family is left questioning every assurance and condolence they received. Even Alex, the newcomer, seems shaken. Was his arrival truly a coincidence, or part of something darker? The emotional toll is devastating. Friendships fracture, and the line between truth and deception blurs. The park, the apartment, even the police station become haunted by suspicion. In a final, gut-wrenching twist, a secret recording surfaces, a fragment of audio in Emma's voice, pleading, "If anything happens to me, look beneath the floorboards." The video cuts to black as the sound of splintering wood echoes, and the audience is left with a single chilling thought. The real story has only just begun. A pale hand turns the pages of a battered diary, the flicker of candlelight illuminating words never meant to be read. The diary, Emma's diary, now rests in the possession of an unknown figure, their face shrouded in darkness. Rain patters against dusty windows as the unseen reader lingers on the final hidden entry. Emma's words bleed with urgency and fear. "If you're reading this, I hope it means the truth is finally out, but I know now, what I uncovered goes far beyond Ashland. There are names I cannot write, secrets I cannot speak, not here. I once believed the truth would set me free, but now I understand, some shadows stretch farther than we can see. If I disappear, don't stop asking questions, don't trust the easy answers, and don't let them silence you too." The camera lingers on the trembling hand as it closes the diary. In the distance, police sirens wail and the town of Ashland stirs uneasily, but in this forgotten room, only silence remains. For Sarah, there is a bittersweet comfort. Emma's voice returned at last, even if only in ink. For Emma's family, a thread of hope, fragile but unbroken. Yet for Ashland, and for us, the story is unfinished. The diary's secrets echo in the dark, a final promise that some mysteries refuse to rest. The screen fades to black, leaving only the scratch of a pen, and the sense that Emma's story, and Ashland's, has yet to reach its end.